Hi everyone. The practices we'll be focusing on in this video are two different practices to work with your vagus nerve to stimulate calm and soothing. These two practices that we'll be trying out and experimenting with are rocking and swaying, as well as a little self-touch, because sometimes working with the breath isn't accessible. It doesn't feel good. Maybe I certainly don't want to focus on my breath if I've got a cold, if I'm stuffy. And also, if you've had some kind of an adverse experience where your breath was restricted, your very smart nervous system is probably going to be like, we're not going there. And that's great. That's why we have other options when we're trying to work for some self-soothing. We have other options besides the breath. So before we begin, as we are experimenting today, I invite you to just do a scan, an internal scan of what is your muscle tone like, right? Because muscle tension and rigidity is a sign of stress activation. So what's your muscle tone? Are you relaxed? Are you maybe a little tight, a little tense? And also, what is your heart rate and temperature, right? Like, because stress can often bring a lot of heat to different areas of the body and also increase our heart rate. So we can do a little scan if that's something you're interested in taking note of. Okay, well, how's that? And then the last one is mentally. So in your general thought weather, if you will, what is the tone? Is it more on just a basic spectrum of, does it feel pleasant? Does it feel neutral? Or does it feel unpleasant? So think of those things because our physical state does in fact inform our thought state. So when we do a little physical experiment, we might just be shifting, almost certainly shifting our mental state in some way. All right, so I invite you to just take note of those three things: muscle tone, temperature, heart rate, mental state. I guess it's four things. Okay, so now we have some data before we experiment. And so for this first experiment, I invite you to simply rock, sway, side to side. I've done this one in a couple videos before. Very soothing to have this sense of swaying for the nervous system. It feels good. And also, the spine can be a little loosened up to help to relax, release some of that rigidity that the stress response can be, right? The freeze response, rigid. So keep that rocking going. And we'll do a few more seconds of this side to side. And as you see, as I go and get into it, my head kind of naturally wants to become part of it as I'm loosening up, bringing some fluidity to the spine. So maybe that's happening for you, maybe not, that's okay. This is an experiment. So with the rocking there, okay, so now I invite you to pause. Just notice, is there a shift anywhere? Maybe you feel tension release, maybe you feel relaxation expanding, maybe your heart rate's lower. How interesting that something like that can shift those things. So now I invite you to rock back and forth, just leaning back and forth. I've got my hands resting on my knees this whole time. So as I rock back and forth, they're kind of sliding along my upper leg. That feels nice. Maybe that's happening for you too. You can hold your hands in your lap. Experiment with what feels right for you. So back and forth. And it's interesting for me, the way that I feel the difference in back and forth and front to back, or side to side and front to back, I should say, is I feel more fluidity when I go side to side, but back and forth really makes me feel gathered in the center line of my body. Very interesting. So maybe see what the difference is between the two for you. A couple more seconds. And now I invite you to come to stillness. And for the next part, our self-touch experiment. So our nervous systems were wired for connection with other human beings, right? And one of the important aspects of that is touch. We hug, we embrace, we shake hands, we offer a pat on the shoulder for support, or we hold a hand for support. So touch can be very soothing for the nervous system. And guess what? Basically, it feels good if it's your own hands or somebody else's. So self-touch can be a very supportive, soothing practice as well. So the first invitation for our self-touch is just put opposite hands on upper arms. Maybe add a gentle squeeze. See what happens, right? Or experiment, making sure I'm not covering the mic up. What happens when you do that? You feel a sense of calm. Maybe you want to try moving your hands a little bit as you squeeze. What does that feel like in your body? It's going to be different for everyone. Okay. Feeling that, maybe it feels nice to do that. Like I am, moving your hands up and down with a little squeeze. Maybe add a little rocking here. See if the combo feels nice for you. If you don't want to, that's fine too. You get to choose your own adventure anytime you're practicing with me, whatever your body is asking for. Little bit of self-touch there. All right. Moment to pause, notice any shifts, take note. That's how that went for me in my body. Cool, making a note. Yes, no, maybe, try it again. That's perfect for data collection for our experiment. Okay, so the next invitation is to place opposite hands in opposite armpits. And if that feels strange, you can sneak one hand out and just put one hand in. Just notice how this feels. It's a little bit like a self-hug, right? It feels good to be hugged, to have a weighted blanket, snuggled under a pile of blankets, a dog or cat on your lap, that feeling of weight and containment. Just noticing what happens here. I feel a kind of stillness, like I don't necessarily feel like I want to keep rocking. I want to enjoy this sense of stillness and solidity. So being curious about what happens as we try these things out is also essential. Just curious, we're just noticing, not trying to figure everything out. Just noticing, oh, isn't that interesting? It's like my favorite noise to make. Okay. Feeling that, maybe you want to switch hands. Okay, so now I gotta think about, okay, there you go. Okay. Feeling that. I think I prefer right hand and left armpit to left hand and right armpit. So I'm going to take a note of that. Just being with it. And again, that invitation, maybe add some of the rocking. Okay. Maybe side to side. See, my body's like, no, we want to be still. Okay, we can be still. So just noticing what your body is encouraging you to do as you do this. Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. So I just had that kind of sigh, and that sigh is a natural release of tension. So that's a good sign that this is working for me in my body with that release and that sigh. Some other things that might be happening to show you that you're releasing tension: a yawn, sometimes even a little eye watering, just kind of getting things flowing, right? Okay, I can almost feel a yawn coming on just by saying yawn. Wild. All right, a few more seconds. Your invitation to go back to the upper arm one if that felt better, or stay with one or both hands in an armpit. Whatever feels nice. I'm gonna do this one with some rocking. All right. So, there you have it, friends. Two ways that you can work to stimulate the vagus nerve for calming, bringing more of that parasympathetic nervous system online just by doing rocking and swaying and a little bit of self touch. So, I encourage you to continue experimenting with the different techniques because everything lands differently in different people's bodies, and it's just really important for us to have a wide array of tools for all the various arrows that life slings at us, as life is wont to sling arrows at us. So we have tools to help us with everything. So thank you for practicing with me today, and also give yourself a high five, a pat on the back for taking time to slow down and take a little break and fill your cup today. Always great to take time to fill our cups so we can just kind of show up better for ourselves, for the people in our lives. If you like this, you might be interested in getting my weekly newsletter where I share the video, but I share a lot more context, some of the science or background, practical application. So you can sign up for that. And also, I have a playlist of self regulation exercises as well. So, thank you all and have a great rest of your day.